Takumi Fujiwara works throughout the day at the gas station owned by the father of his close buddy Itsuki. After dark, he drives his father's AE86 to deliver tofu for his father Bunta, Tofu Man Fujiwara's business on the adjacent Mount Akina. Underground street racers and pros alike love to test their and each other's talents over the challenging mountain pass known as Mount Akina. Despite the strange music selections, they have a thrilling feel to them and effectively make use of the stunning mountain scenery and winding roads. The more experienced drivers line up to compete against him for the coveted unofficial title of the racing god of Mount Akina when Takumi unintentionally defeats a high-end vehicle in his Toyota AE86 and begins to seriously explore a career in racing. The plot of Initial D doesn't have much going for it. The events leading up to each passing race leave one with a sense of déjà vu. Probably the only intriguing aspect of the story is the father and son's connection. The father is an alcoholic, womanizer and is an abuser, as the story would like to imply. Being a huge Initial D fan, I had to see this movie of course. When I saw Chou's character smoothly flying down the mountain pass on his Truino in the opening shot, I had great expectations. Unfortunately, that was the highlight of the picture. Sometimes, watching the vehicle scenes is pretty entertaining. Many times, they will hug a turn on the inside before letting the back slide out and past the rival. It's entertaining to watch, but you have to question who the stunt performers are and whether they invited Tsuchiya, a legendary drift driver from Japan, to the set for parts of the scenes. Unfortunately, that is the only positive aspect of this film. The movie's real redeeming grace is ultimately the racing scenes. They are entertaining enough to keep viewers' attention even though they are not particularly imaginative. Despite the strange music selections, they have a thrilling feel to them and effectively make use of the stunning mountain scenery and winding roads. The editing will be a topic of intense debate. While it may be beneficial to some, it may not. If there is one thing it uses a lot less of, it would be the split-second freeze frames that it uses in scenes where they are completely unnecessary. It annoys me. It's a relief that the directors were able to rein themselves in when it came to the slow motions, which feel natural and don't linger too long. The production, which included singing sensation Chou in his acting debut, was also designed to raise awareness of the king of mandopop in Japan due to the manga origins of the plot. Chou's work here should serve as evidence that not every well-known singer is suited to a career in acting, even though it might have achieved the latter goal. Chou's expressionless performance in one of the most wooden acting debuts ever put on screen is perplexing because it appears in a movie directed by Andrew Lau and Alan Mak, two filmmakers who have in the past inspired some of their actors' most important work. Takumi and Natsuki's love story is intriguing, especially in the turn it takes in the second half, but it doesn't contribute nearly enough to keep the plot moving. Lovey-dovey for the correct audience. Andrew Lau and Alan Mak appear to maintain a light-hearted approach toward the story without taking it too seriously.
Did you know that?
Did you talk to him on the phone?
Lots of stuff. Like he told me you're thinking about becoming a racer. You're a really good driver, Takumi. Awesome.
Thank you.
I had a great time. Bye-bye.
The characters have a flat design. If you are an anime lover, you won't recognize any of your favorite characters here. As the main character, Chou does a really poor job. He always seems to be fumbling through his lines or just pondering why he hasn't shot the music video yet, in my opinion. Let's also discuss his friends. They are idiots. More of a raving moron than his anime counterpart could ever hope to be is what his best friend Itsuki is. This character talks about wanting to improve and looking up to Takumi in the anime. Itsuki claims to be a racing god throughout the film, and after he loses and wrecks, he begs his new father to purchase him a faster car, the GTR, so he can rematch and destroy. The father of Takumi is also an alcoholic and a loser. He is also violent. He beats his son, and as a result, Chou has scars on his back. I'm I'm not sure what they were thinking when they portrayed him as a violent drinker, given that it's clear from the source material that he never was. It is obvious that the director most likely has never seen an episode of Initial D. I think the camera work is likewise subpar and cheap.
Yeah, the scene dropped back as we went into the tunnel.
What about the E3? I'll block this way. Watch your head.
Attention! The train just left the national park road and is heading up the mountain. It's coming up the road and ready to slow down. Shit! Kyoichi's ignoring the warning and is trying to overtake.
It's too late.
I knew this would happen. You knew what? Takumi's never been in the lead for very long before. Ryusuke's car's more powerful, but he stayed behind him so he could learn his moves. Then overtake him.
So it's all over?
I wouldn't say that.
You got a great car. Yeah, what's wrong with it today? I used to have one, maybe you'll come and have a look.
Here they come!
Your hair, dude, yeah. I'm glad you like my tune.
Takumi, I think you should be on that team.
I'll see.
Wait.
Cause it still hurts just like it used to. Even without you. I know you're moving on to something new. Still I miss you. Boy, wait till I miss you. Miss the way you used to hold me at night. Yeah, I'll admit it that I miss you. God, why do I miss you? When you never treated me right.
The worst relationships are in initial D. Every time they decide to focus on romance, T never works out. I adore the show for all other reasons, but every time someone appears to be on the verge of a fulfilling relationship, the plot turns sour. Main character is in a relationship. Note, she is dating an older man for financial gain. It ruined me by these love relationships in movie, which only makes me feel bad for the characters and angry that they had to be included in these needless side tales. Relationships in novels that don't significantly affect the main plot are fine in my opinion, but it rapidly becomes tedious to use the same strategy of shitting at every opportunity. I would still recommend to watch it at least once. Clearly marketed for non-anime fans that may or may not heard of Initial D. So be aware if you actually like the anime.